Hey guys, Savvy Tech Girl here. Thank you for joining us for another live show. I think we have a really good show coming up here tonight. We have some great guests that I'm very excited about. We have with us a special guest from RetroX, Franco. Welcome to the show.
Hi, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you so much for being on. I'm really looking forward to this. You've released something new in the last couple of weeks, so I think you sort of did a complete revamp of your original application. And last time Stuart was on, he sort of touched on it a little bit, so I'm going to get you to sort of tell us in depth what your RetroX is all about. And we also have, we also have Stuart back from Retromania. So he is currently trying to get together a little demo for us. And so he will be joining us also. So Franco, welcome. How are you?
I'm fine. A bit hot here in Chile.
Is it? You know what? It was actually quite warm here today.
Oh.
Degrees Celsius. It was 20 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, here we have maybe 30 or more.
Wow. See, in the winter, Canada's supposed to get snow. But I don't know what's happening, and I'm afraid that March is going to sort of come in and dump all the snow we were supposed to get for the entire winter. But today it was beautiful out.
Well, we had in the past weeks big wildfires here.
Have you?
Yes, it was
because of the heat.
Yes.
Really?
Or maybe some people think that they are intentional. There are people making the wildfires.
Oh, hopefully not.
Oh, hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. No, we're supposed to get snow, but we haven't had any, so thank goodness for that. We usually lock ourselves in our houses and we don't come back out until around April.
Well, that may be a good thing.
Yeah. So guys, we got the chat room going here. If you can, any questions that you have as we go along, please feel free to put them in the chat room, and I'm going to keep a close eye on what is going on, and we're going to try and get everything answered for you. So Franco, did you want to sort of start off by talking about your RetroX application that you've developed?
Okay, RetroX is the new name because this application was called RetroBox TV in the past. I changed the name maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. This application was created by, I think it was created in 2014, maybe.
Okay, wow.
And it started as a solution for me. I wanted something easy to use that I wouldn't have to think about set up the emulators or download the emulators, choosing the emulators, setting up the controllers, and all the stuff that you have to do when you want to play all the games.
Right. So every time you go in, like, yeah, a lot of times you have to set up your controllers and things like that. It takes time, right?
It takes a lot of time, and you have to do it for every emulator. So if you want to play 10 systems, then you have to repeat the same process 10 times. So I started it in the first version was based on Linux. It was based on a computer, and later when the Android TV devices start to appear, I ported the application, and once in Android, I started to show it to some friends, and many of them wanted to have it. So. So I started thinking about making it more public. And well, today we have maybe 20,000 users or something.
Really?
Not
Wow.
not paid users,
No,
not paid
no.
users,
Yeah.
not all.
It's quality, not
Uh,
quantity.
ah?
It's,
Not all users are paid, but that's a lot of users thinking that it started
Absolutely.
for me. So yeah, I want to
Congratulations. That's
thanks,
fantastic.
thanks. Well, this last year, it it has been very it has RetroX
busy.
TV or RetroX. Yes.
Yeah, busy. Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone.
There has been a lot of activity this year. A lot of new users requesting cool features that I try to please them all as possible, and I'm very happy right now because I think that this is growing and it will continue to grow ever more. So thank you for inviting me. I think that
Oh,
people
yeah.
watching your show will spread the word. So thanks a
Oh,
lot.
absolutely. And yeah, thank you for coming on. And I think it's great because, like you say, people want the gaming, right? But they want the ease. I mean, a lot of times, if you don't understand the programming side or the setting up, it gets difficult, and a lot of people then don't get to be a part of it. But by the sounds of it, what you've created is plug and play, and away you go, right?
Yes, I wanted to have something similar to what Netflix is today. Uh,
Okay.
you want something that you just click on what you want to do. In this case, you click on a game and start playing, and the technology resolves the things that needs to be done to get you playing.
Right.
Just cuts out all the
And
hassle
then
and
how
it
did
makes life a lot easier.
yeah. So Stuart, how did you and Franco meet up again?
Well, exactly because I'm lazy. I was looking for an easier way to do things, and I think I came across RetroBox TV when it had I think it's 21 emulators linked into it, 20 or 21 emulators. And for
Okay.
me at the time, I was managing Retromania that had 35 individual emulators, all with their own configurations for display settings, controller setup, ROM locations, BIOS files. So when you factor all that in, it's a hell of a lot of work. So when I came across RetroBox at the time, it was just like, oh, thank God. It was just a
Yeah.
savior. So I was like, Franco, please,
Incredible.
well, I actually complained about myself because I really wanted to play some games on the Amiga and they weren't working, I think, or maybe a controller setting or something. And I contacted Franco. I contacted the RetroBox team and it came straight back. And then we started got chatting about football, about how much we hated Luis Suarez, I think. And,
Had something in common.
yeah, he wasn't popular. He likes to bite people, so I was taking the piss, and Franco was going at it as well. And yeah, no, it was good fun. We got chatting and helped me out a ton, and I helped him set up a lot of the European or US devices that they don't have in Chile, like the Amazon devices and things like that.
Oh, right.
And then it just kind of grew from there, and I just started begging him so that I could use it in Retromania. And he was like, no, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. I need to release a proper version. I just like, come on, please. It's going to save me a shitload of
Right.
time. So
No, that's
eventually
fantastic.
twisted his arm, and yeah, we included it in Retromania. And Franco's amazing in what he does for the group. He's always on there asking people what they want.
Right.
What improvement should we bring next? Always resolving issues that people raise. For customer service, he's second to none. He's always on there. And for people who struggle with emulators that don't have, the easy setup that RetroX does, so it doesn't do all the automatic BIOS configuration and controller mapping for everything else. I mean, take all that away. The guy's actually there supporting people individually as a person. I mean, you don't get that from any kind of company. So for $12 or $13 or whatever it is, it's an absolute cinch. You know, it's just
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm on your page all the time, checking out what's going on, and you guys are right in the forefront. You know, it's if people have questions, you guys are answering them, right? Like they're getting the answers quickly and right from the source. That's huge.
when I set up the group, I always wanted it to be a group where it would be somewhere where I'd always enjoy being. I wouldn't ever want it to be, you know, bitchy or obnoxious or full of
Right.
spam and adverts and things like that. And you know, the community that we tried to control, you know, we've had people who've gone out of line, and you know, some people we've had to remove, but most people
Yeah.
just want to have a good experience. So it's just, you know, we can kind of keep that philosophy and make it a fun place to be. And it's, you know, no, it's been brilliant this last year.
Yeah.
So,
And it's a community, right?
oh, yeah,
It's
exactly.
I
Everybody
mean,
supports. It's not just me and Franco that's supporting people. This is the best thing
right.
about it. You know, whenever we've brought people into the community, it's, you know, we don't just talk about what we do. You know, general emulation or gaming. You know, it's not just gaming either. Do you know what I mean? But
No,
people always
exactly.
talk about, you know, this side of things. But you know, the support that people give. You see someone come into the group and they know nothing about emulation. They know nothing about Android boxes or, you know, setting it up on a
Right.
PC or anything like that. And then a couple of weeks later, you'll see that person supporting somebody
Yes.
else new to the group. You
Yeah.
know how to do everything. It takes a massive burden of you know, pressure away from me and Franco, because it's a self-supporting group now, and it's brilliant to have that kind of community feel where people feel like they want to muck in and help out. We've got so many members. You know, I could sit here all night listing names of people off the top of my head, people I've never met in my life, but
Right.
bust a gut and feels like they're doing a full-time shift on that, you know, group every single day. So
Yeah.
thank you
And
to every
I
single
mean,
one of those people, and you know, we'll be here as
it's
long as you make it a fun
24/7.
place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I in the middle of the night, my time, I'm looking, and you guys are on there. In the middle of the night, your time, like there's always people there, and there's always people helping, right?
Well, that's just because I got sleeping issues.
Yeah, well, me too. I
I'm
think it's because our
nocturnal.
brains don't turn off. I think that's what the problem is.
No, I did an all-nighter, I
So,
think, on
Franco,
Tuesday, and then
what the name change to RetroX? What brought that about?
From a lot of time, I wanted to drop the last part, the TV part,
Okay.
and then I started to. Well, the original name was only RetroVox,
Oh,
but
was it? Oh, okay.
it was, but the domain was used, and it was not cheap to have it.
Right.
So we started using the RetroVox TV domain, and then we stuck with the name.
Yeah. Okay.
But with as time passed, I was tired of typing the full name when writing on the phone. It was too long. It
So
was too long.
that's the reason.
That's
Ah.
one of the main reasons.
Okay.
Innovation.
Laziness. Yeah. See,
Yes.
I think it's a great name. I think it's really
Yes.
catchy. It really is. Yeah.
And at the same time, I found that other projects started using similar names. So there is a project right now that is called Retro Blogs.
Oh, is there?
Yes, it's a very interesting project. But that was the I don't know the expression. That was the drop. The drop that filled the glass. I don't know if that makes sense. It was the last thing that well, that's the final thing that made me realize that I had to change the name. So I was very afraid.
Yeah, Australia.
I was very afraid to change the name.
Were you?
Yes, because I didn't know if people will know how to look for the application after the name change.
Right. Okay.
But
clever.
Today, all the people say RetroX. Nobody remembers the old RetroVox TV name, so it went out very good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I think obviously because you've got the groups, right? Like you got that name change out immediately. and
Yes.
it just stuck, I think, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
switched it in
group
the build and
is
everything overnight.
Yes, exactly.
yes.
Yeah. I see, Stuart, you were doing some more graphics work this week
Yeah, I did
on your
11 new banner themes for people, so
Yeah, I saw that.
I get a bit carried away. That was
Looks
the all-nighter.
good. Yeah, no, it looks fantastic. I have one question here from Alan. Final Fantasy VII, will it work on RetroX via the Pi, the Raspberry Pi? So I guess first of all, RetroX, will it run on a Raspberry Pi?
Yes, there is a special version based on Android. Not many people know about it, but you can run a special version of Android on the Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
I made a pack, an image that has Android plus RetroX. So you boot into RetroX using Android.
You do? Okay.
I haven't tried Final Fantasy VII. And I must admit that I haven't used my RetroPie, excuse me, my Raspberry Pi a lot because one friend asked me to lend it to him, so I don't have it here.
Oh, and then he didn't give it back. Well, I
Yes.
can promise you, I have right now about 7 Raspberry Pis around me. So
Wow.
tomorrow I'm going to install it tomorrow.
Perfect.
And yeah, I'm gonna try it out and test it. And I use Raspberry Pis for almost everything.
It's an amazing machine.
Great little.
Yes.
Oh, they're great little computers. I mean, you've got Bluetooth built in, you've got Wi-Fi built in, and on the Pi 3, right? They're really good little machines.
If one could go to the past, 10 years in the past, and one could talk with ourselves and talk about the Raspberry Pi, it will be something unbelievable. It's a lot of power in a very small device and very cheap. It's incredible.
Yeah, really it is. And I know that Google are getting a lot more involved now with the Raspberry Pi. So I'm sure that as that happens, we're going to see a lot of other things come into play, right? So,
Right.
So Alan was asking, so could he run Final Fantasy VII via RetroX and the Pi?
I think so. I think that I tested PlayStation. That if that is for PlayStation,
Is that
it
PS1
will work.
or is that PS2? I'm not
PS2
sure.
or
Yeah,
PS1?
Alan, is it PS2 or I think?
I don't know how well the Android image runs the Raspberry Pi emulator.
If that is PlayStation 2, it won't work.
Yeah, because it's just limited to Retrobox. Or RetroX.
Right. Okay.
It's hard to stop saying it. Than
we have a question from Chris. So, question for both of you. Did you ever anticipate both RetroX and Retromania would be so popular? Also, is maintaining both a full-time job for you guys? And, you know, you're working and doing your side work, which is all full-time job.
in my case, it was a goal. I wanted to do this for my main job. So what I didn't expect was how important is the Retromania group for it. I think that without Retromania, we will still be very, very small.
Do you? Yeah.
Yes.
You got your exposure out there.
Yes, the exposure and the community, the support.
Yeah.
The support that the guys do in the group, it will be impossible to me to do that kind of support. It's massive.
Right. But you know you have a fantastic product, right? Because you've got all of
it's the best
the Retromania group following along.
Yes, but you can have a fantastic product, but something that a developer doesn't know when creating it is that it's very
Right.
hard. It's very hard to make a product to be known.
To market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, it's
It
very hard.
is.
Even if the product is good,
Yeah.
most people will just read and will not try it and will speak what they think about it instead of trying it and then say what they experience with the product. That's very hard. In these years I've learned a lot, and most of the well-known products have behind a great marketing funds, huge
Right.
marketing funds.
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah. Huge
Yes,
money. Yeah.
huge, which I don't have.
Right.
This growth has been more organic. Uh,
Yeah.
we 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 chose the application one by one, even.
Right.
So the growth is because people that is using it is recommending the application to their friends, to their family. So it's a very slow growth, but I think that it being slow, it's easier to grow with it because
Right.
yes,
Right.
And collect feedback.
if the grow, yes,
Yeah.
and feedback support, the server is still small.
Okay.
If a lot of people will start using it, we will need another server. Things will get complex. But in this case, growing slow, it has been perfect. And I repeat, the help from Stuart, from Retromania, from the community, from the admins, from the users themselves, has been fundamental on what is RetroX today.
It's because we're always bugging you for new features.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yes,
Have you noticed that I've tagged you? I've tagged Franco in 3 posts today, I think.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
I've committed him to hold up to his promise that he made in another show, where he
Well,
said that he would release the GameCube, the Dreamcast, and the Sega Saturn
Oh,
in
right.
RetroX
Yeah.
this year. So
No
I'm just-
pressure. No pressure.
No,
no pressure.
I'm,
Well,
you know,
I take that with humor because, well, at the end of the day, I make the decisions on what I want to work, but I want those features too. But the problem is that it takes a lot of time to add more emulators. There is one emulator that is still baking, the Commodore C64 emulator. It's in the midway,
Okay.
halfway. I know that Stuart hates it, but I want to have Commodore C64. After that, we can go for Dreamcast, Saturn, GameCube. So for me, it's fun. When we have to do things, we have no. One, we have to make things enjoyable. So
Right. Absolutely.
sometimes people request crazy things,
Yep.
and there is a poll right
Stuart.
now. Yes, no, Stuart and Alan McDonald. I don't remember other names. Maybe leak onto it. Um, they request crazy things. Write the ideas down for the future.
Yep.
But maybe sometime, maybe sometimes I have a few minutes to do short things, and sometimes I implement those crazy ideas. And for example, in the last days, I fixed something in MAME to help the user get more information when MAME against won't work, and that small feature created another feature which is a lot better. So sometimes I just do things. I don't know what will happen in the future. So I'm always open for new ideas.
I think you're gonna get busier and busier in the future. I have a feeling.
Yes. Well,
What about you? What about you, Stuart? Did you think it would grow like this?
Nope.
No.
It's the easy answer. To be honest, for me, I was like, when I set out with Retromania, it was just because I couldn't be asked unplugging my SNES and taking it upstairs.
Right.
So I wanted a way to put emulators in Kodi. And then I wanted a way to be able to update it easily with a wizard, and I didn't have any of that. I didn't know how to make a build or anything. I'd just set it up on my own. So I went into the beast, and it kind of just snowballed. As soon as it went in there, it just got really, really popular. And then I decided to, I need to learn a little bit more. So learned the basics, set up my own domain, managed to rope Frank on board, and yeah, it's just snowballed since. I think we're averaging about, 250 people a week.
Are you really?
So a month probably. A week, that'd be.
Was your first outlet for getting this out there Facebook, or was it your website, or?
That was all Facebook. I mean, the website's only accessible if you're a member of the Facebook a member of the Facebook group. So it was just all literally through Facebook and through the Kodi community. It just kind of snowballed, really.
Yeah, it's amazing, eh?
Yeah.
There's one question here. Will there be a mute function in the RetroX?
Yeah, I know that name.
You know that name, do you?
Yeah, that's one of our admins.
That's the crazy idea. That's the crazy idea that make me start a poll in the group. It's very crazy.
You do have to follow up on some of those things that are in that poll, though, Franco. You realize that?
Well, nobody. Maybe. I think that very little people have voted the mute feature yet.
Both me and Brian voted for it.
And Brian's the one asking the question. Now,
the only reason for that was because Brian worked out that you can connect your Spotify account or something to your Shield, so it plays the music, and you can play video games as well. But there's no mute button within RetroX, so you can't have the music playing instead of the gaming.
Oh, I see. Okay,
I
still have to get my hands on a Shield. That's still on my list. I gotta do a review on one. Hey, Husham, how's it going? We got Husham just came in to say hello. I just want to make sure I got all the questions here. Last time, Stuart, you were mentioning that with this, there was some new additions put onto the RetroX, and you were mentioning about you can be playing a game on your one device at home, and then you can go somewhere else, and you could maybe go to your office, log into your computer, and just keep going from where you left off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's come so far in the last year as Retrobox to RetroX. The features that you can do now, like it's now got native NAS support. So any Android device, if you've got a NAS drive on your network, it can pick up your games from there.
That's a cool feature.
It's a really cool feature. So if you're someone like me who's got several devices, like I got the PC downstairs and the Android Shield in the living room, and I was playing on my mobile, but you can't keep all the games on your mobile. So to have the network storage and just be able to go on and see it and download it is brilliant. Just
so it's the other day, I think it was last night, I was watching TV, and I want to say it was Microsoft had a new commercial for their Xbox or their new device that they've got out, and that was their selling feature, right? Is that you can be on your handheld device, and then you can go to the next device, and you can get on the plane and then keep playing on the plane. And I'm thinking, well, that's what you guys are doing already.
Exactly. Nintendo advertising that as well with the Switch, I think. So
yeah, that's what it is. Exactly.
Retrobox, you can take your oldest games, your 30-year-old games and things like that.
Yeah.
Start playing them in your living room.
I'm thinking,
have to go out.
You guys are
your phone,
well ahead of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cloud saves, another feature that Franco implemented. So it'll save your game to your individual profile because everybody has their own personal account saved on the RetroX server.
Okay.
So it saves all your cloud games. It saves all your favorites. So whatever device you log onto, you log into a familiar setup. Obviously, it'll only show the games that you've got on your device.
Right.
You know, what's your artwork and things for games that you can't launch from it, because that's the whole point of RetroX, is that if it's there, you can play it.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's come a long
It's
way. It's
very
got
cool.
gained another 5 emulators or 6 emulators maybe since I started using it. So he is doing the right work, but not always on the right devices.
Yeah.
Too much Commodore
So we have
64.
Chris is asking, and ColecoVision. So that's my favorite. Chris Brown is asking one last question. What are your favorite consoles or emulators?
SNES Mario Kart. Standard answer.
Is it? Yeah. What about Franco?
I don't have a favorite. I like the PC Engine, the MSX, the Atari 800. Maybe those are the main, and the Sega Genesis. I don't like Nintendo stuff very much.
Well, and you don't have time to play anything, right?
Yeah,
There's no time.
Yes,
Yeah, you're always developing.
That's a huge problem, because every time I try to play, I find a problem that
Right.
I want to fix.
It
That feature,
turns into R&D instead of playing a game, right?
Yes, it's like work.
Right.
Yes. Well, that feature that you can continue to play on other devices started because I have many devices here, and I changed my devices a lot, and I wanted to play Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion, I think.
Good game.
Okay.
But I wanted to. I didn't want to lose my playing. I wanted to continue playing. So my problem was that I had one machine in the first floor, and I could only use that to play that game. So I wanted to continue in my second floor or on my phone. So it started like that, and it ended to be a very powerful feature.
Yeah.
Today, people can say that you can set up the emulators yourself. You can download the emulators and set up them all. But a feature like that will require the user to write code or modify the emulators, something that I already did. So the cloud save has now today is a unique feature of RetroX. And well, after I saw the advertising from Nintendo, the first thing that I thought was, oh, we have that.
I know. Well, yeah, when I saw it, I was just, all I could think was, this is exactly what you guys have.
Yes.
You know, like exactly what you guys have already. I think they've been on your website personally. That's where they got the idea. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that feature, well, from the programming side, it was natural to have it. Because once you have users with password and accounts, you can store data with them. I started to store their favorite games, their ratings, and other stuff. So at first, it was like a desire to have the save states stored with the user account. So someday I just sit down, wrote it, and wow, I love that feature today. And, and I think that many people do.
Oh, absolutely.
It's awesome to be able to play a game. And for me, I'm always in and out of the house. You know, we work and stuff on the road. So it's brilliant to be able to just pick something up and just play it and carry on from where you left off.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's fantastic. And I guess that's how you guys come up with most of your ideas, right? Like you're playing it,
Convenience,
you
isn't it?
want, yeah, like you want something a certain way, so that's what you do, right?
Yeah, this is why they call Franco a god, though, because he can do things that no one else can do.
Right, that's right. I have a few questions. Totally different subject. So what do we got here? So Craig is asking, he has a Sega Genesis on his T95Z Plus and added to his SPMC build via Android apps and the programs, then saving it as favorites. I'm a bit confused here. So he's got
I don't know
Genesis.
if that's a question, to be honest.
No, oh no, it's not a question. It's just he's telling us what he did. Added it to
That's great.
SPMC via the Android app and the programs. Well, way to go, Craig. Fantastic.
That's essentially
what else have we got here?
Retromania was when I created it. Just got a lot of emulators and linked them to submenu links, and just released it as a build with a few wallpapers.
You did, eh? Using
That's all it was.
super
There's no genie.
favorites, or
No. At the time, I had to. You had to go into Confluence, the original skin, and then into
right, yep,
the programs option, and then in programs you could see Android apps, and it'd bring up a list. So what I did was I favorited Android apps, put that as a main menu in the Aeon Notch skin, and then I could access Android apps immediately from a main menu, and then I could just favorite the ones that I wanted, and then put them into relevant submenus, so you can link Android apps, hence emulators, hence Retromania.
Okay, very cool. Yeah,
Simple.
Craig, it was just the way I read it. I was expecting it to be a question, so I was reading it as a question. But I completely understand you now. As far as, so the RetroX, is it free or is it donation? How's that work?
There is one payment. You pay like $12.
That's it?
That's it. That's all.
Wow.
Until now, I cannot.
Don't say that. I'll put the price up.
Yeah.
At least the people that have bought have purchased the application will not have to pay anything else. Never.
Wow.
But
that's
if I don't know, if in the future there could be more needs for the server, for example, more funds, maybe I may change that. But today you have to pay once, and that's all.
So people need to take advantage of it today while they still can, because like you say, you've got server costs that you have, right? You've got your all your ISP fees, and you've got, like, it soon adds up, right?
And my time. And my time.
And you absolutely. And
yes.
And people don't think about that. Like, no, I was reading a few messages on the weekend, and where somebody was asking about, yes, they have to make a donation, and how do they know that it's going to be a good app? And you just think about the time that goes into these things, and really, in the grand scheme of things, can I go out and buy something for $12? It's not easy to do. That's one of those where you like to
just drop in a Michael Jackson popcorn meme.
Yes.
Yes. That's right.
Let's go sit back and just watch what happens here.
Yeah, and it's people. I don't think. I mean, there's the group of people that understand it. We get it. We know how much time we put into things, and for you guys to be doing this for the amount of dollar donations and payments that you take is, I mean, it's incredible, really, because it's all your time, right? You guys work never ending on these things.
Yeah, it takes up a bit of time, if I'm honest.
You enjoy it.
I'm like Franco, in a sense that whenever I switch on Retromania, it's not because I'm going to watch something. My wife watches things on it every single day. But
really? Okay.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched something on Code, let alone on my own build.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like too. You know, I'm always building the pie boxes and setting them up and making videos. You don't have time to watch things.
No, it's like playing the games.
right?
I'm almost envious. You know, you look in the group and people are posting all these videos of games they're playing. I think, you know,
Yeah.
if you could just imagine that, if you could just spend an entire night playing games.
That's right. If only. You know, like you say, then you start playing it. You think, oh, I could make that change, or I'm gonna change this, and that's what it's all about, right?
Yes.
That's what makes it work, though. I mean, that for me, I think, you know, I'm a bit compulsive with it. If I see something that doesn't work, and now I've got the Android app, the Retromania app that we can use, I can update on my phone, which, you know, I use to make the build, and then just push it straight away. I think it takes 5 or 6 minutes, and the build's updated on my phone.
Does it really?
Instantly. It
Wow.
pops up in the app saying new update available, and people just click one button and download the new build. So
right.
it's
And
so
that's
easy
when they're
nowadays.
part of the. That's when they're part of the elite, right?
Yeah, so I update
On your website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Elite app is something that Franco helped develop for me, which just takes the whole wizard kind of process of Cody and just throws it in a bin and just says, right, if you've got an Android box, with the same as he's done with RetroX, takes away all the frustration, all the wizards, all the repos, all the URLs, all that crap, all the losing.
Right.
I mean, it backs up all your logins and things like that now. Or we can actually set it up to back up whatever we want. So if people say, oh, there's this add-on that I use, you know, could you save a backup of my settings in that? Then we can do that. I just add it to it. So next time they install the new update, the build, they won't lose any of their settings or logins or anything. They can just literally update with one click, gets rid of the old one, puts a new one on, keeps all the features, and they can carry on. So yeah, that's brilliant.
Now running it on Kodi 17, it's all up and running on Kodi 17.
All good, yeah. Well, I had Kodi 17 working from very early on. I think for the first RC one, I created or ported it over to that, and I had that running on my phone at the same time, 16 and 17. So whenever I updated on 16, I would do it on 17. And then when it went to 17, I started. Most users began using that. So at the time, I was running SPMC as well as Kodi on 16, so I could run 2 builds, so people could have it on, you know, on either side and install to either. But it became a bit of work when it moved on to Kodi 17 because I was managing Kodi 17 and Kodi 16, and because they're both completely different, it's not a case with Kodi and SPMC or both on version 16 where I could just port the add-ons over across to each other, and they would, you know, already be the right kind of format and images would be the right sizes and things like that. So when it came at Kodi 17, I basically had to make a decision and just cut off the Kodi 16 side of things and say, right, I'm just working on 17. Because when you're doing that much work on it, you know, I'm that OCD with it. I'm always, God knows how many, probably 20 updates of the build this year so far through the app. So I'm always updating on that side because it's easy for me, you know. Well, I say it's easy, but to do it.
Yeah, well, it's easy for you. Yeah.
To do it for 2 it would be an absolute nightmare having to do that job twice, and there'd be things I'd forget and the quality would drop. So I decided rather than, you know, putting myself under unneeded stress and pressure, I'd just focus and do one job as good as I could. So that's why I'm just running Kodi 17 now, but fingers crossed there'll be an SPMC 17 coming at some point
soon, hopefully.
Yeah, I've made a few requests, so we'll see what happens.
What about you, Franco? What's your primary platform that you use?
Computer-wise, operating system.
Yeah, for everything you do. Like, do you use coding? Yeah.
No, look, I'm not. My problem is that all the day I am here working, so I have very little time to watch movies or TV. Even there was a time, maybe several months passed until I ran Retromania for the first time. And Stuart knows it.
Also knows.
Yes. And the first time I used it, I used the wizard, and then I struggled with it. So
oh, did you? Okay.
Yes, I thought that if I am if I am supposedly good with this,
Right.
I am struggling with it. So what can I expect from other people? So
Right.
after that, I think, or at that time, Stuart told me that that he was thinking about making an Android application to make this process easier. So that was the beginning of the Retromania APK.
Okay.
And well, we tried to do something that everyone can use, uh, and that made Retromania to reach another level, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think like you say, simplifying it
So this is the
for
thing.
people.
Retromania, when it first came out, was by far the hardest build to set up. I'm not going to lie.
Was it? Yeah.
Because
Okay.
just to get to the emulators, you had to navigate through a file explorer, a file manager like ES File Explorer or something.
Yes.
But even to get through ES File Explorer, you had to untick the Show Hidden Files button. So
No.
it didn't even
I
appear
see.
naturally anyway. You know, so there was just complication after complication. So for a new user to do that, to then have to install the apps,
Sure.
to then have to set up all the configuration side of things, it was a nightmare. Whereas now they just, if they want the Android app for the Retromania, they just go in there, donate £5 once for a lifetime. That's it. It's yours.
Yeah.
Put it on all your devices. You're not limited to how many of your own devices. Just don't take the piss.
Right. Absolutely.
And then, yeah, it's one click. You open up the app and it does everything for you. And it's got all the emulators and everything else that you need, or even more, actually, all listed, because I'm not having to include the apps with the build anymore. So it's brought the size of the build down massively, because I was having to include, 100 megabyte of emulators at one point.
Oh, right.
By
Okay.
having the app, I've excluded that now, so that the user can download it, each app individually. So we just pay for the hosting and that side of things for the app.
Yeah.
So that's why we ask for the donation, just because obviously
Yeah.
it costs, the more people we get on board, and like Franco was saying, then the more performance we need. We're actually maxed out now at the minute of our current host.
Are you?
We
Yeah,
pay
that's
for
what
the
I was going
top
to say.
spec of everything that we can. So the next stage, pretty much for us, is to actually get his own server, or go with a better provider. But we're with GoDaddy, so we're doing quite well at the minute.
Oh, are you? Wow. Okay.
We're getting a lot of activities, but
you think that you're sort of at the point now where getting your own server is the best way to go?
Well, just more necessity than anything else. I think if it gets to the point where we can't handle it and it's having an impact on performance, then
absolutely.
I mean, obviously, with that comes a lot more cost than what we're doing now. So I'd probably have to just be realistic. I'm not going to run something and work on something that's putting me out of pocket. I'm make money, but I'm certainly not going to put myself or my family out of pocket for the sake of a hobby.
That's right.
So,
and I think
cross that bridge when it comes to it.
I'm
steady.
Yeah, and I mean, my personal opinion is, they're fantastic applications, and for the donation price that people are doing now for what they're getting is, I mean, there's just no comparison, right? Like, it would be really nice if people would donate more than the £5, obviously, and hopefully you do get donations over and above that as well.
I do get some very generous people, I must admit. So there's a, but I need to stress this, because within the coder community especially, it's all about let's make a shitload of money. I never got into Retromania or made Retromania or did any of this to make a single penny. I don't maintain it and do 20 updates in 2 months because
you just want to make money, break even.
Well, break
even would be nice.
We made the app exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to be out of pocket.
Absolutely.
But the builds are always free. This always gets me. We always get this. Whenever someone and I think the comment you were referring to the other day, it's like, if I'm paying for this and and this, and why does it cost this much? And I don't know, I'm not getting ripped off. And I said, well, it's actually both are free to try. So you can, Retromania has always been free. You can always download it for free using the wizard. There's even a video tutorial for you, above this comment that you've just written.
That's right. I mean, it was, no offense to the person that wrote it, but
No,
it was a ridiculous
by all means
comment.
ask. But God knows how many times a day I say pin post. It's
I think
ridiculous.
that
Right.
I
Pin
think that
post,
was
exactly.
I think that question it was a bit tricky. I think
Yeah.
that guy wanted to make people fight a little. It was
Oh,
a
you
bit
do?
of trolling.
You-
Yes.
Okay. Well, it worked with me. I was
because you can try everything for free. So you can try the
right.
Retromania, you can try RetroX. So you will know what you get after paying.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, the app. There's no demo for the app, but there's plenty of video demos. You can watch it install the
Right.
full build in a
Of
minute
course.
and 30 seconds if you want.
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
the difference between
exactly.
using the app and using a wizard.
Right.
But like I say, it's
Yeah,
entirely up
no.
to people. I don't go on the group on a daily basis and go buy the app. Go come with the Retromania app. It's the
No,
best
and
thing.
you never.
Do you know what? You'll be
No,
lucky to
and
find a single advert of me apart from when we first released the app, even advertising the app. It's just
that's what I was going to say.
the
You never
users
see
recommend the
that.
app. And I don't need
Right.
to. I'm not in it to make money. It's not a cash cow for me. I've got a full-time job. I work full-time. I just don't want this to put me out of pocket. It's
No,
simple as that.
exactly. Yeah.
Um,
No, absolutely. I think you
but
guys do an amazing job. And
Franco, it's a full-time
Yeah,
job, so that's
it
Franco's got a
is,
full.
isn't
Well,
it?
he works a full-time job as well, but then he does
Yes.
this as a full-time job. This
Right.
is a career, a passion, for him.
Sure.
With the nature of Cody, I don't think there's any way that I'd ever legitimately, make a career out of making a Cody build.
Right.
But one day maybe I'll be able to hang on to the coattails of RetroX when it goes global.
See, there you go. What do you think about that, Franco?
It's just one long job interview for me, is this?
No, seriously, we have talked about this in the past with Stuart. I think that RetroX should be global. I think that RetroX should be the main navigation for retro gaming, at least on Android. I've seen, for example, the Launchbox app for Windows, and it's awesome. It's a very good application. I don't think that I can do something like that in Android, for example.
Oh, I think you can.
No, with a lot of fans, maybe a lot of developers, maybe. No, no. Right now, I think that we're the best on Android. Honestly.
Yeah.
So I think that it's natural to go global, to be more known than today. I see that people from other countries than UK are joining. For example, people from Spain, from Brazil, from Italy, from Greece, Germany. So it's working. The work that we are doing, supporting it, creating the amazing features is working. And I honestly think that maybe in the next year we will be very big. That's what I think today.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I think now you guys are busy, but you're going to be 10 times busier during this year.
Don't tell the wife that. Oh, my boss.
No time for vacations.
That's the wife came before the boss.
I cannot talk about that. It's been a bit complex for me. Yes, yes.
Yes. Well, it does. I mean, it does take over, right? And it's hard to walk away. It is hard to step away.
Yes.
I mean, I know myself that I try and put time aside and say, okay, tonight I'm not going to pick up my phone and I'm not going to check all my messages. But you do. I mean,
I get bollocked for it daily
Yeah, and I think that's what drives us, right? Yeah, I
Needs
I
must.
just put the phone down for 5 minutes and then
I always make time for
I
my kids.
pretend
I always have family time for my wife and kids and stuff.
right.
You know, you've got to make time.
You need that. Absolutely, you do.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it was a couple of days ago where I didn't touch Cody at all. I didn't touch my phone. I just left it downstairs. I didn't touch it for a day. I just thought that's it. You know, I need a
Right.
break from it. Just stop staring at a screen.
Yeah, walk away, right? It'll still be there when you get back.
Yes.
It's also really handy when you're on a night out and someone's boring the hell out of you. You can just be like, okay,
Yeah.
I gotta fix this. You know, shit's
That's
gone down.
right. Exactly. Meanwhile, you're playing a game, but they don't know that. Yeah, very true. No, well, I think you guys do a
Everyone's gonna be suspicious
fantastic
of me now.
job. Yeah. Yeah, you just put that out there now. Now they're going to all know. Yeah, as I say, tomorrow I'm going to install the RetroX on one of these Pis that I have sitting here. So I'm going to test that out, and you may be getting messages from me. See how that goes.
No problem.
Yeah, and no, honestly, I think you guys do a fantastic job.
Thanks.
Everything's amazing that you do. The community that you guys have built is amazing. And everybody in it, like you say, everybody helps each other. And for people that have never sort of delved into anything like this, for them to be able to come in and, like you say, 2 weeks later, they're in the chat room and they're starting to help people. I mean, that's priceless to be able to do that, right?
Do you know what, when I see
it really
when
is.
I see that, and when I see pictures of people playing games with their kids, that's awesome. Is that, you know, because I you know, my nephew plays. He's 13 years old, and all he plays is like shooting people in the face games now on Xbox and whatever.
Right.
And you know, I'm trying to convince him, look, you know, play these old games, and no interest. Yes. So with my kids, I was like, shit, no. I want to make sure that they're not. That's why I got the SNES. That's why I got the SNES back from my mum's and bought it back. So I was like, I want my son to play it.
I'm
got Retromania and people.
I'm so jealous of all the stuff you're getting back from your mum's place. Every time you post something, and it's like a gold mine.
I keep it now, though. The thing is, I walk in the house with all this crap, and my wife's like, "Where the hell are you going to put this now?"
Yeah. What do you need that for?
In Chile.
Yeah, Chile. Yeah.
I found an Amiga the other day, and I was saying to Franco, "Would you like the Amiga?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And I thought, "Oh shit!" Last time I sent a Shield over to him, it cost me £95 in postage. So I was like, yeah, I don't really want to send an Amiga that's 3 times the size.
No.
But we'll see how well RetroBox does.
Yeah, exactly.
Not RetroX.
No,
say it again.
Yeah, RetroX. Yeah, I've caught on to the RetroX. I like that. I like that name. I think it sounds good, and it's easy, right? It's easy to say, and
we can call it RX now. You know,
RX.
We're talking it's RM for Retromania and RX for
RX. Yeah.
I have to say something. I have to say something that it's very important, but not all people see this. Sometimes some people write me using the direct messages in Facebook.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of people having a bad time. They have problems. They have, I don't know, maybe divorce, health issues.
Right.
And they sometimes write me to say just thanks, because because they go back to the childhood with RetroX. So that's it's huge for me. It's very emotional for me.
Yeah, I mean, you all the money in the world couldn't change that feeling, right? You know, like
priceless, isn't it?
And it is. And you know, all your time and all your dedication, and it is extremely appreciated. And like I say, you see that among your community that you've created. And no, it's fantastic. I mean, kudos to you guys, because you do a lot more than most people do in the community, and you stick with it. And that's the thing. It's not like it's a fly by night. You guys are there and you're in front of everybody. So
I need to say thank you as well to not just for the gaming side of things, but I mean, Franco's almost like a personal mentor to me in the way that I conduct myself as well. Because when he first came on board with Retromania,
Thanks.
it was easy to see when I was wound up. You know, if someone was pissing me off, or things were getting a bit stressful, and you know, I may react some ways. And yeah, no, Franco's not just a genius when it comes to computers, but you know, in social interaction, the guy he's taught me how to keep myself in check on many occasions, and how to improve myself as an individual. You know, with how to handle the workload, and you know, for many things. So, you know, thank you for everything that's going way above and beyond what is playing a couple of video games. You know, he's a top guy, and I think people see that in the group as well. You know, he's
Right.
and I do enjoy it out when he comes out with a few of the Yorkshire lines or English jokes or slang terms, which he's getting quite good at as well. So yeah, keep it up.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
that's really, you know, and it's great that both of you can work so well together, right? I mean, you clearly feed off of each other, and I think that's fantastic.
It's taken a long time to get him to speak, though, I must admit.
What-
No, my English is not so good. My English, shut up, Frank.
Right.
Speak English.
Yeah,
Your English, your English is a hell of a lot better than my Spanish. I'm telling you that.
right.
Would eat cheeseburgers and drinking cerveza all night if it was down to me speaking.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for being on the show. That was fantastic. And hopefully
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, hopefully we send more people your way. And I can guarantee you.
Apologies to everyone tonight.
Yeah, well,
I did actually try and get the Shield working with the Google Hangout so I could demo it, but I'll persevere with that this week and find a way to get it working. I'll hook up a webcam or move my PC upstairs in front of my TV or something like that. We'll get it going.
Yeah, and once you get it working, let me know, and then because that'd be great to do a live demo of that.
Yeah, cool.
So
we'll work on that.
Great. Well, thank you guys for joining.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it, and well done on everything that you do. I can only wish that I can be half as successful in my programming as both of you guys. Oh, I'm just sticking with the little Raspberry Pis.
He's good and lucky.
Well, you both work well together and you got it, so that's great. So thank you very much, and yeah, hopefully we can get together and do a demo at some point, and that'd be great. And thanks everybody for watching. Great having you on, and I'll be back next week with another live show. Thanks, guys.